This is Prime 7 Local News with Madeleine Collignon and Carl Linders. And Ellie Wicks with your local weather forecast.
Tonight, human remains found in the Murray River, believed to be those of a missing Nepalese student.
28 injured, including children, as a bus careers off the road and crashes.
Grand final fever as the region's biggest Tigers and GWS fans cheer their teams.
Now, Prime 7 Local News.
Good evening. Human remains believed to be that of missing Nepalese swimmer Bikul Pandit have been discovered in the Murray River.
The 21-year-old was last seen alive near the banks of Albury's Noriel Park in January. The remains are now being forensically examined while family and friends wait for confirmation it's their son and friend.
8 months since Bikul Pandit vanished beneath a fast-flowing current at Noriel Park. A discovery late yesterday, downriver and snagged in tree roots near the Kremer Street boat ramp. Josh Ribberich, Prime 7 News.
28 people are lucky to be alive after a terrifying bus crash north of Wagga this morning. A group of children were on their way to a youth forum when horror struck. The vehicle flew off the road, landing 50 metres down an embankment.
Airlifted to Canberra Hospital, a 65-year-old woman in a critical condition. By her side, an 8-year-old boy with multiple fractured bones after a bus carrying 28 people crashed on Burley Griffin Way, west of Harden at 8:20 this morning. All of the occupants lucky to be alive. Jeremy Frost, Prime 7 News.
Police are on the hunt for two men after a car was torched in Wodonga early this morning. Emergency crews were called out to grassland near Bandiana just before 7 a.m. The fire spread from the white Subaru Forester to nearby grassland before firefighters were able to extinguish the blaze. Anyone with information is urged to contact Crime Stoppers.
Drought-affected communities will share in a new support package worth $100 million. Prime Minister Scott Morrison made the announcement in Queensland's Darling Downs. The package includes $33 million to resume the Community Support Initiative, which provides emergency payments worth up to $3,000 each. An extra $51 million will be extended to the Farm Household Allowance, which is paid out through Newstart. The worst-hit areas of the country will also get infrastructure upgrades.
All up, this is around about $100 million, just over it in fact, that will be going in, and just over 40% of that will actually be spent in this financial year, this very financial year. So there won't be any delay, particularly on the Farm Household Allowance. That kicks in once we get the legislation through the Parliament.
Agriculture Minister Bridget McKenzie says the Farm Household Allowance payments will now be easier to access following complaints the system was too complex.
A Wangaratta husband has surprised his wife by decking out the couple's front yard in yellow and black for tomorrow's AFL Grand Final. Bev Gladstone might just be the Northeast's most passionate member of the Tiger Army.
It could be her last chance to see the boys in yellow and black. But just like the Tigers of old, Bev Gladstone remains strong and bold. Mitchell Sariovsky, Prime 7 News.
The only swimming pool in Beechworth could potentially close its doors. The prospect of losing the facility has alarmed local parents and their children who rely on the pool to keep cool in summer.
The Beechworth swimming pool could close its doors in 5 years. Sue Astridge is a coach at the local pool. She says if the complex does shut down, it would mean many local kids won't have a place to swim. Amna Yang, Prime 7 News.
Albury's first return and earn station in Springdale Heights will shut down by the end of the month. Supermarket owner Bob Matthews has been pushing for the recycling machine to be relocated for over 12 months. He says the machine creates a mess outside his store and it doesn't attract many store customers at all.
It hasn't stopped the Victorian cans coming over. They still keep coming over in bucket loads and and that really irritates me that the poor New South Wales retailers.
A new recycling machine will most likely be set up in Levington Square in the near future.
It's time now for a quick check of the weather with Ellie Wicks.
Ellie, hello to you. Have made nearly the weekend, but a cloudy end to the working week.
Almost there, yeah. It was a bit sunny to start the day and it did turn a little bit. Good evening. Well, we certainly warmed up for our Friday. The end of the working week is finally here. I'll be back
weekend, footy time.
Yes,
all right, thanks, Ellie. See ya.
And coming up, plastic bags on the way out in New South Wales shops.
And one of the region's most historic mansions is on the market.
Stay in touch 24/7 at prime7.com.au.
Border residents have mixed reactions to the idea of banning single-use plastic bags in New South Wales. A bill to ban the environmentally unfriendly bags has now passed the state's upper house. The bill was introduced by Labor and got through Parliament after 2 MPs failed to show up.
Do you think it should be banned?
Yes.
Why is that?
Oh, it's because of the waste and the problems it's causing.
Woolworths and Coles have banned them, and you go in, everything else is still wrapped in plastic.
New South Wales is the only state that hasn't yet banned the bags.
One of Rutherglen's most iconic estates is on the market. Fairfield was once Australia's biggest vineyard and winery. Its owners now hope it'll get a new lease on life.
850 hectares, brimming with rich Rutherglen history and a 130-year-old Victorian mansion that remains captured in time. Josh Riberich, Prime 7 News.
Still to come in Prime 7 News, a family's athletic legacy continues to shine.
And grand final glory for the Borders Soccer Sister Act. Friday Sport is next. Two local soccer stars who happen to be sisters are making a very big impact in Victorian football. Mackenzie and Montana Matthews have returned home premiership heroes and are now eyeing off higher honours.
17-year-old Mackenzie and 16-year-old Montana have risen through the ranks of the Albury-Wodonga Football Association to taste the ultimate success playing in the NPLW League with Calder United under-19s. Stephen Murphy, Prime 7 News.
Two primary school siblings are impressing on the national sporting stage. Whether it's on the court or athletics track, the McCowan sisters are carrying on a sporting tradition.
It's a true sister act in the McCowan household. Alira and Kajana both returning from competing on the national stage for athletics. Stephen Murphy, Prime 7 News.
They certainly are. We've made the weekend and school holidays. School's out for spring. Ellie Wicks has all the weather details next.
Welcome back. The weekend is here, and after a cold front crossed the state today, we'll have a strong southerly breeze tomorrow, but the high pressure system will deliver plenty of sunshine to kick off the weekend. Another front does look to cross the state on Sunday, and that will continue to generate cool winds into the early stages of next week, but we will have mostly clear blue skies as well. Unfortunately, we're really not seeing much in the way of rain. That high pressure will bring mostly dry and stable conditions next week. Predictions have been changing right throughout the week. We might see change next week, but it does look like now that high pressure will really dominate at this stage. So if we move into Saturday's forecast, there is a frost warning for the northeast, but throughout the day we should be clearing to clear blue skies, pretty much 16 expected in Beechworth, 17 in Shepparton and Wangaratta. A bit of a cool night for some of us with that frost around in the morning. Similar conditions on Sunday as well, but we might see cloud cover increasing, but a mostly warm day. Temperatures are looking around the high teens for most of us, and fairly nice across the Alpine region as well, 9 in Mount Buller and Mount Hotham. As we track into Monday, the first day of school holidays in New South Wales, it should be a really nice spring day. Mild temperatures, some of us even getting into the 20s, so it should be really quite nice. Omeo 15, Shepparton 18, warmer in Wangaratta 19 after an overnight low of 3. Into the 7-day outlook now. For the final time this week, it is set to be a really nice weekend for the AFL Grand Final. 18 degrees in Albury on Saturday. Similar conditions right through Sunday. We'll start to heat up in temperature from Wednesday. So this time next week, we could almost be hitting 30 degrees.
Wow, what a massive jump.
Yeah.
That's insane. All right.
But nice weekend on our hands, at least.
Enjoy it. All right, thanks, Ellie. See ya.
And that is your local news for tonight and the week. Thanks for your company.
7 News from Melbourne is coming up next. Have a great night. We'll see you again on Monday.